Good morning everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm sorry that we didn't post a video yesterday. We were having a little bit of trouble with how to use our phones and video and upload onto YouTube. So that is our incapability with technology, clearly. We normally use our dad's video camera that we just plug into the computer and it does it for us. So that is the reason for our late video. And you've only got me today because obviously we're all having social distancing and self-isolating, so probably for the videos for the foreseeable future it will just be one of us rather than me and my sister, or all three of us. So I do miss her being by my side, but hopefully it won't be too long until we're back to normal, whatever normal is. So I thought I'd do a video today on living with someone. So again, from a carer's point of view, I tend to do the more carer kind of videos and Sam does the more sufferer ones. So living with someone who possibly has depression or is suffering from low mood. Obviously we're all spending a lot more time together at the moment, stuck in our houses or flats, or, you know, basically a lot more time than we would normally. This is kind of a good thing and a bad thing, because I feel like the positive is that if you are worried about someone you love or you live with suffering, like if you think they're suffering from a mental illness such as depression, you're actually able to pick up the signs a bit more, and I think they'll be less able to hide how they feel. So I think the positive out of this is that it's something you might be able to pick up on a bit more and maybe act upon, whereas before, obviously with everyone having super busy lives, it's more difficult to pick up on behaviours and stuff like that, or behaviours that might be linked to something else, might get misread, and vice versa. So that's the kind of positive I think that we can take from this, is if you are worried someone's suffering, you are able to pick up on those smaller things that you might not have been before. So I'm just going to give you a few tips really on if you're worried so your loved one is suffering and their moods are up and down and you want to try and do things to help them, I don't know, to help the home situation. These will obviously apply after the whole coronavirus saga as well. So please do jot them down or whatever you want to do. I have actually taken them out of Mum's book, Cope with Depression, but they are things actually that can be applied to most mental illnesses. So even if you're watching this and your loved one doesn't necessarily have depression or low mood and they're suffering from, I don't know, a range of different things, anxiety or an eating disorder, they are things that can, they can be taken into other areas as well. So my first thing is create a positive environment. So by that I mean positive home space. So for example, you might want to do things like clear away clutter, and just make the home space more comfortable, because I know it's easier to sort of clutter things up and, you know, put this here, put this there, put this here, and sometimes I think, like they say, was it a tidy home is a tidy mind or something? I think I made that up, but anyway, I think it's definitely something that helps me. So when I go downstairs and the house is really messy, it actually can feel quite stressful inside. So I think doing little things like, even obviously in a safe way, like light candles, or if you've got any diffusers that have like calming scents in them, so things like lavender or anything like that, I think just having those around all create a positive environment. I think trying to keep the house as clean as possible as well. I think it just all really helps. Even I've just changed fabric conditioner, and I washed our pillows and they now smell nice. They're just all things that help to calm the mind, and even though you wouldn't actively think that helps, it actually does. Also things like, as we are home a lot, I'm going off topic a little bit, but sitting down and eating together. So rather than everyone being disjointed and eating all at different times, I'm not saying every meal of the day, but even just like dinner, because obviously like when everyone goes back to their busy lives, it's going to be more difficult to do that. So I think just doing the little things that encourage positivity and encourage kind of like a family unit will all help. So number 2 is avoiding personal criticism. So I'm going to give an example for this. It would be something like, say your loved one didn't, I don't know, let's think of something. They're playing on their PlayStation all the time and you can't get them off it. Rather than saying, oh, why are you always on that all the time? Maybe say, like, is there a reason that you're on that all the time? You know, I'm a bit worried because you haven't been out all day, or I'm a bit worried because, like, you're not really engaging in conversation. Another example would probably be, like, I don't know, say they've just had dinner and then they don't take their plate out. Rather than being like, oh, why did you do that? Maybe ask them, oh, by the way, you didn't take your plate out? Like, this is something I've had experience. I'm just going to pop my thing up on my, sorry, there was a notification on my screen. These are things that like I've had experience with as well, and it does work. Rather than going on the attack, ask a question as to why, like, oh, you didn't take your plate out, or you didn't, like, what, how come you didn't do this? And do it in like a nice way. You know, you're asking, is there a reason? Like, was it because of something, or did you just forget? Generally, someone who's suffering with a mental illness, their mind is so busy doing other things that they just wouldn't have thought about it. So they haven't done it maliciously. They haven't done it because they think you should do it. It is more the fact that it's because, yeah, their mind's completely elsewhere. So I think rather than going on the attack, it then makes that person shrink into themselves even more. So then they think, oh, all they do is have a go at me and like I'm no good. So it just kind of reiterates how they're already feeling about themselves, even though it's about something completely different. So yeah, it kind of moves on to my next point, which is be as kind as possible. I think that's to like the whole family system. I think once you get into like a negative mindset and everything's irritating you, it's easy just to carry that on. Whereas if you try and switch your mindset into like looking for positives and just trying to be upbeat and being kind, I just think that really helps. Even if it's things that you feel you shouldn't be doing. Obviously, I think when someone's suffering from a mental illness, little things like mean big things to them. So even offering to cook them dinner, or you might do that anyway, but like even just saying, oh, do you like want to like watch a movie, or do you want to do something together, do you want to like go out in the garden together, do you want to like sit and turn all our devices off and have a little chat? Just doing things that seem kind of out of the norm, I think make a difference for someone who's suffering, because it might for that moment be able to just pull them out of their dark mindset. So just remembering things like that and just being maybe a little bit more thoughtful into doing things like that and trying to be as kind as possible. The next thing is massive, especially with depression and low mood disorders, and that's encouraging self-care. So those who suffer with depression and low mood disorders, often self-care is completely forgotten about. So things like that we just do automatically, those who aren't suffering might just do automatically, having a shower, wearing clean clothes, washing our face, washing our hair. Those with depression, often you're so low that you, one, don't have the energy to, and two, just think, what's the point? Like, I just don't, what's the point in doing that? So I think encouraging self-care is something that is massive when someone is suffering with depression. So as a carer, encouraging that, if you notice they haven't washed their clothes or they haven't showered, if you, wash their clothes for them, or say to them, should I just wash that for you? Because often it might just be them you know, they don't have the energy to, they're not even thinking about it. That's not the first thing on their mind, is to wear clean clothes. So if you kind of help them out by doing that, and obviously talk to them about it as well and say how important it is, and it will make them feel better, you know, it just creates a bit of positivity as well. But yeah, encouraging them to have a shower, to get up every day, and even if they put clean tracky bottoms on, it's still getting out of like lounge clothes and pyjamas and stuff. So that one's super important. And then the last one is to stay in touch. So I put this one in here because I thought it would be nice to include something about someone who's not in your household. So if there's a friend that you know, or a family member, or someone you know that you think might be suffering from any mental illness, really, I think it's nice to stay in touch with them. So, you know, send them a WhatsApp, give them a call. We've got so many means of communication now, just anything, even write them a letter. I received a letter the other day. The person might watch this video, so I really thank her for sending it. I received a handwritten letter in the post, and I was like, oh my god, I saw it and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I opened it and it was a lovely, beautiful handwritten letter, and it really made my day. And I don't suffer with mental illness, but even for me, it just, in this time of, you know, stress and anxiety, it was nice to receive that. So, you know, if you know their address, maybe just pop them a little letter. Just, it could just say like what you've been doing, that you're thinking of them and you can't wait to see them when all this is over. Just staying in touch with people gives everyone a little bit of hope and positivity, and that's what we're all about, is hope. So yeah, that came on to my last point. So I hope that helps everyone. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, or anything else that you want to know, please just let me know. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. It might be Sam or it might be Mum, but we'll work something out and bring you a good video. So yeah, I hope everyone has a lovely day, and I will see you soon.